Right, so welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast with your host, Timmy25. That's me, guys. That's me. I'm Timmy25, and welcome back to another podcast. This is episode 8. If you guys have missed any, this is the 8th series, eighth episode of season 1 of the podcast. I hope you guys are lit, live, and well. Congratulations to everybody for being well. Also, I'd like to start off by saying a massive shout out to everybody for joining us up in the podcast. As always, we got a shout out Dennis Jasiji for taking the crown off Tara K. Welcome back, Dennis. Taking that crown. That's right. Well done to you. And not forgetting, obviously, Brian Lloyd hitting in second and Tara K up in third position. Also, we got Tara K over at Discord.com, Twitch.tv, watching us over there as well. So thank you very much for that. Right, so obviously we got the guests as usual for you guys on today's podcast. We've got our infamous guest lineup. We've got Crazy Hose 95 back up into the podcast. Welcome, Miss Crazy Hose.
Hello.
We also got the infamous Exodus D, who's now grandpa for the day. What's up, Exodus?
Basically, what up, everybody?
And last but not least, we've got the wonderful young lady who literally managed to, every single time today's live stream on Fortnite, get herself into the top second place every single time. And that is Tara K, everybody. Welcome, Tara.
Hello.
Right, so without further ado, we're going to jump into this. I'm hoping everything will work as well as it's supposed to be working, because at the moment it doesn't look like it's doing what it's supposed to do. Let me just quickly check a couple of bits and just see if this web page is gonna feature itself. I think this has got the wrong setting on this. Let me remove this. Just quickly add the link so that you guys can see what we're supposed to be looking at here. It's supposed to be browser. No, it's not browser. It is. Where is it? What is this? It is a window capture, I think. Just having slight technical difficulties, everyone. Yep, it is that one. Okay. Let's just expand that a little bit. What the hell is happening with this thing? It's not working. The hell is it? I can't see it. Let me add it again. This happens from time to time. Don't worry, this is perfectly normal. If you guys haven't joined the podcast before, this is exactly what happens. There we go. That's better. Right, let's just put that in.
I swear to God. Get away from the window. Get away from the window. Fucking dog.
There you go. That's what you're supposed to be seeing, everyone. That's what you're supposed to be seeing. Anyway, so as you can see, this is what you get to see on today's podcast. It's quite good. It's my channel, everyone. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to go subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and the second one, so that you guys stay up to date with every single news podcast that we do. That's right. It can only happen if you stay in the loop. Also, before we start, so massive shout out to Sean Mike 2 and Crazy Gamer Girl over at twitch.tv as well. And obviously, we can't start without saying a massive shout out to the sponsors for helping us to continue and maintain this epic podcast. That's right. We got Cinch Gaming, CD Keys, and the infamous Razor.com. And not forgetting those people who buy those merch from my store. We got the infamous merchandise. 2 days left of that immense 15% off. That will help with the bank balance. So be sure to grab yourself something awesome from the T4 Army store if you haven't done so already. Also, over at twitch.tv, we've got the infamous G2A.com, and last but not least, G4G and Streamlabs taking care of all of those donations, those millions and trillions of dollars that we get on a day-to-day basis. If you guys want to drop a little donation, you know what you need to do. Just click on that Streamlabs or the G4G link, and you'll be able to make all your donations there to the live stream. So thank you very much for that. So obviously, without further ado, we've got the first lineup of the stories today is something very, very controversial, and it's a bit of sad news, and at the same time, it's a little bit of controversial news, and that is obviously to do with the YouTube shooting. That's right. So if you guys didn't heard about it, the YouTube headquarters in it's in San Francisco. That's where it is, and someone lives there right now. So in San Francisco, there's the YouTube headquarters, and basically, this crazy person decided that they were gonna kill fucking YouTube, basically, and basically what's happened, and the news that's come about of this is that the YouTube shooting suspect was angry at the site for stopping her pay, which is what's recorded by what her father has suggested. I don't know how true this is, but as we all know on YouTube's platform, if you're a creator, if you create content, you would know that a lot of YouTubers have been feeling the brunt of being a creator on the platform, especially with all the changes in demonetization and with the changes in how you can become monetized and stuff like that. So all of this stuff makes a massive difference in people making money on YouTube, basically. And this girl took it upon herself to let everyone know exactly how she felt at YouTube. Rather than writing a simple complaint letter, she decided that she was going to go over to YouTube headquarters and open fire. I have a little footage for you guys to watch before we get into the chit-chat of this. So have a little listen to this. This is quite interesting. Before I play this, let me just check that audio is on for this. It's not. Okay. And let me just check the audio is working. You want to start hit play? Yep, it is working. Fine. Right. So here is the footage, and this is Ed Bernini. San Bernardo or Berno, wherever the fuck the area is called. It's in California. So YouTube California headquarters. And this is what the scene was like outside of that area. It was fucking insane. Oh, hold on a second. We got a slight loading issue. Active shooter at YouTube headquarters. Heard shots and saw people running while at desk. At my desk. They're engaging on the shooter. They got their full squad there. Doing their squad leadership.
We did encounter one victim with apparent gunshot.
This is quite intense. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I would have been shitting myself. Check these guys. Just walking out, hands held high.
While conducting a search of the premises,
so this is what was going on at YouTube headquarters
individual with a gunshot
during that
wound
shooting.
That appears to may have been self-inflicted. We are still working on confirming that. 2 additional victims were located several minutes later at an adjacent business.
So police have identified the shooter as Nassim Najim something. At point prior to the shooting, she posted a video critical of
and
YouTube.
filtered on YouTube.
Here's her video.
And I'm not the only one. So recently, they also attacked my Persian channel.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but by her demeanor, she
and if you go and check my videos, you see that my new videos hardly get views, and my old videos that used to get many views stopped getting views. So this is because I'm being filtered.
YouTube have now closed the account, so you can't watch your videos still though. And obviously, that was sponsored by The Guardian. Thank you for the news. The Guardian keeping us lit with the news. So basically, the police in the Mountain View, where Google is headquartered, confirmed that they interviewed Agdam early in the morning before the shooting after they found her sleeping in her car. The department described her as calm and cooperative and said that at no point during our roughly 20-minute interaction with her did she mention anything about YouTube, if she was upset with them, or that she had planned to harm herself or others. While her father told the police later that morning that Agadama was upset with YouTube over her videos and might have come to this area as a result. He did not mention anything about potential acts of violence or a possibility of Agdam lashing out as a result of her issues with her videos. The department said in a statement, "The Mountain View department had not passed any information about Agdam to the police in San Bruno, where YouTube's headquarters is located, before the shooting." The San Bruno police chief said, Agdam online profile shows she was a vegan activist who ran a website called nasimsabs.com, meaning green breeze in Persian, where she posted about Persian culture and veganism, as well as long passages critical of YouTube. The irony of this story is that from what came out from this is that there was a lot of rumors speculating around this particular topic that happened, and some people were saying like there was a girl in a headscarf who actually opened fire. They were trying to claim it as a terrorist attack, trying to put me in it every fucking time. So basically, after reviewing all of the evidence, it came out that actually no, it's not a girl who wears headscarf. She's not even Muslim. She's just a Persian girl who is a little bit obviously crazy because she lost her monetization on her channel, and she was losing a lot of views. Now the thing is, the criticisms have fallen into two places. You got one half saying that, you know, YouTube are kind of got to hold their hands to this because they have been hitting content creators really hard and making their life a living hell and all this sort of stuff. And on the other hand, you've got people saying that, well, you know, fine, you know, someone does something, like, you know, a company who you create for is doing something, but acts of violence is just one step a little bit too far. And I would have to agree, because the thing is, obviously even my channel has seen a massive shift in viewership counts, subscriber counts, and even making money on YouTube. It's massively changed from what it was, let's say, December last year. It's completely different now. So the thing is, there has been a lot of change on YouTube. There's been a lot of criticisms of YouTube of what they've done, but at the same time, I think there's a limit to what people can do in order to be able to take actions into their own hands to get some sort of reaction or some sort of result. I mean, what result came from this? She killed herself in the end after injuring, I think, 3 people in total. I mean, she injured 11 people, but I think one person died and 2 people were critical. So the thing is, what was achieved from this is nothing but stupidity, to be honest with you. And if any other content creators out there feel really passionately or strongly about this topic, in the sense of they feel they are being, you know, sort of silenced by YouTube, or their videos aren't being seen by everybody, change your content. You know, obviously not every content is going to, I mean, look at YouTube's not TV, which is why we have broadcasters like even myself, who's really a nobody, making videos with people who are also nobodies. We're just like normal people. But the thing is, YouTube give us that chance to do these kind of videos, so then you can't take the piss and make a video about how to create a fucking household bomb, or how to make, you know, something ridiculous like that, or how to show how you can tear down a whole building with a certain type of thing, or if you're the sort of angle that you're talking about, maybe politics or whatever it may be, because they wouldn't allow it on the TV screen. You know, YouTube have got a certain limit that they can allow themselves, and obviously if you go too far, they're going to push you back. And I know YouTube's old stance used to be broadcast yourself, but now it's not that anymore, because obviously Google have taken over YouTube, and Google are owned by the Alphabet company. If you don't know who they are, they're a massive company who bought Google out. So there are much bigger players playing alongside this now than there was before, when it was just two guys in a basement who created something where people could broadcast themselves on a server. It's massively different. So we have to kind of adapt and change and understand that there's going to be some influence and some changes that we have to adapt to as content creators to stay on the platform, to stay relevant, and to be able to, you know, continue doing what we're doing without having to feel the brunt of what we're doing. So I mean, the thing is, the question I really want to pass off to everybody in today's podcast on this particular topic is her actions justified? Which I'm pretty adamant I know the answer to, but there will be some who may think it is. And secondly, to the degree that the reaction has been on social media in the sense of repercussions for content creators, do you think YouTube had this coming? Was it heading their way because of the amount of people that were? I mean, people have heard me bitch about it all the fucking time now, and we're working towards trying to make that a change. But did YouTube push too far? Have they gone out of their way to force some creators who maybe are a little bit unstable in the brain to act out and react in such a way where there is massive backlash on them? And unfortunately, the people who get it aren't the people at the top of the tree. It's always going to be the people in the ground levels, and that's basically where she actually managed to attack a lot of the people. So obviously, I'll bring the question over to Crazy Holes to start off with her, really, on her opinion. What did you hear about this story, and what was your takeaway from what you heard on the shooting at YouTube headquarters?
To be honest, I believe that YouTube has something partly to blame on this, because the thing is, with the whole thing that they're doing at the moment, demonetizing small channels, and partly because of Lowe's and Paul's fault. You know, obviously, of course, YouTube headquarters had it coming. Really, it was kind of like a time before the storm. No one knows when it was going to come, but people knew it was going to come. Because the thing is,
I mean, the thing is, just to give you guys a bit of background story on this particular YouTuber that has was found to be the suspect of this horrific incident, is she was getting like 300,000 views, you know, between 80 and 300,000 views per video, and then all of a sudden it dropped to like under 1,000 views a video, and then some of the videos were getting like 300 views. And when I checked her content to see if there was any major changes and stuff, there wasn't anything that she had changed with what she was making. I mean, one of her videos, which was it was an ab workout video, done like 500,000 views, and the views stopped coming in from that video. And it's just little things like that was provoking this kind of behavior to happen. So to talk about her being a small YouTuber, she wasn't that small, but what was happening is that if you're obviously of a certain size on YouTube and you can see your content is not reaching your audience like it normally does. I mean, we saw it on my channel. I mean, a week ago, we were getting like 200 plus views per video, and now all of a sudden we're barely scraping past 50. So there, you know, and I don't know if it's because everyone's on holiday, people aren't around to watch videos or whatever it may be. People are busy with their families, they've gone away on vacation, whatever it could be. But there is a change. It's not the same. And I'm like scratching my head, like, what have I changed? What's so different about my content that from one week to another week, it's like the views are completely fucking different? So there is that element to it as well. Like there is, you know, like YouTube are kind of provoking content creators to some of them to become, I guess, a bit loony, and are willing to take actions into their own hands to kind of voice their opinion in a different form, which is not good. It's not right. And you know, I think it's not. I mean, people have heard me vocalize about YouTube and what they've done to my channel, but at the same time, you don't see me going out trying to kill people at YouTube headquarters, because that's just stupid. But because I know, as a content creator, you have to understand that there's no actual contract between you and YouTube. You do this as an open thing, like as just a way to build an audience and a fan base of people who are like-minded, or people who like your kind of content. There is no guarantee. There is so many YouTube channels out there where people are making really, really good content and they're not getting any views on their videos, and it must be frustrating, but that is the reality of what it's like to be a creator. You know, you either are really big or you're not really big, and you just have to, take it as it comes, to be honest with you. That's just the way it is. I would like to bring, obviously, Mr. Exodus D into this little conversation. Exodus, what's your personal takeaway on this YouTube shooting? Do you think YouTube had it coming? And do you blame this young lady for losing her fucking mind? Exodus?
Question to me? Okay.
Yep, question to
Just
you.
making sure, sorry. I mean, I just think that she's just someone that had something like this planned for like a long time, and it wasn't YouTube's fault whatsoever. Like, there's rules that become very strict. Like, even you stopped getting monetized for a little bit, which is not. It's not.
Oh,
your
sorry,
fault.
correction. I'm still unmonetized right now. But anyway, carry on.
Exactly. And we don't see you going to YouTube and shooting them up. It's just her. The way she does this problem is way overboard than what it needs to be.
Yeah. What about you, Miss Tara K? What do you think about this whole incident with this young lady on YouTube?
I think she's crazy. I don't see any reason why anybody would go anywhere and just start shooting people. I don't care what the issue is, because you never know what's going on in their head. So I'm thinking she had other stuff and just using that as an excuse.
Maybe there's a mounting of other issues that contributed to this, and then this being the added fuel sort of to the fire kind of thing. It's very interesting. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to touch on this subject for too long, because obviously it is a very, very touchy subject with a lot of creators on the platform. That it literally is split kind of 50-50 down the middle. You'll get some creators who are completely backing this woman and what she did, and then there's the other side who are like, no, you things can happen, but this reacting with violence isn't the way. Is not the solution. Is not the way forward. And me personally, my takeaway is that you can't. I know as a content creator what is expected of me, and I know what's expected of YouTube. And to be honest with you, the fact that they give me the opportunity and the chance to even broadcast live or even make videos to put onto a channel which you guys can then watch is a privilege, because no television network will let me do the same thing. I can't just go to a broadcaster and just say to them, look, I want to make this show. It's going to be Fortnite gameplay, and I want me to be able to broadcast it every day at any time that I decide. They will just tell you to go fucking do one. So the thing is, YouTube give creators something which nothing else gives you that kind of opportunity. Twitch does the same thing. You've got Smashcast, which does the same thing as well. And they're all in the same game, and they all play the same game, to be honest with you. And I think content creators have to understand that the chance that you get given to do something like this is something you either make it a good thing or a bad thing. It's up to you how you want to deal with it. You make money, you may not make money, and the whole point is that shouldn't be your main goal, because like I've always said, the money will come either way. You will get paid either way, but you need to know the reason you're doing it. You got to have a passion to do it in the first place, and the rest will follow afterwards. If you just do things based on trend, if I did my content based on just trends, I wouldn't even be doing half of the videos that I do right now. I would be doing something completely different. I would just be looking at what's on trending and just copy what they're doing and doing exactly the same video, which is what I don't do. I do what I feel like I want people to watch that I would want to watch that's missing on the platform or whatever. So that's what I do. So I want to just end on this by saying, a massive sort of condolences go out to all those who were affected at YouTube headquarters, whether you did get hurt or whether you didn't get hurt. Everybody, I'm sure, will be grieving some way or another. And I mean, the platform is still up and running. I mean, they could have easily shut it down for whatever time just to deal with grief and whatever. But they've kept it going. Things are still turning over. The cogs are still turning. The money is still rolling in, and people are still putting up their content. So, a shout out to YouTube really for keeping the site running during this difficult time. And at the same time, I hope everyone who did get hurt is okay, and those that unfortunately did suffer more than others, our prayers and thoughts are with you. So yeah, I don't really want to dwell on this topic for too long. Let us know in the comments down below what you personally think about this particular topic. If you have anything opinionated that you want us to voice for you, please let us know in the comments down below. And if you're watching this on playback, you can do exactly the same thing. I love to read those comments after the podcast has gone live. Moving on swiftly, there's something interesting in the air, as they say. And if you guys haven't heard about it, this is a company called Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Now, Sinclair Broadcasting Group, if you don't know, own a load of news outlets and other channels as well. But their main focus is the news. And it was found that this company actually had a scripted anchor news, which was broadcasted on every single news outlet. And literally this YouTuber decided that he was gonna make a video. He had seen all of them, and he'd made this collage of how scripted news can be. And really the question that I'll be passing off to you guys after I play this short little video for you is, if the news is so heavily scripted, is it fake all the time? Are broadcasters fed what they should be saying, and in such a way that it's the same? Like, you'll see when I play this video how shocking it is. I mean, I was like blown away because obviously I don't get my news from the normal news sites. I get news from everywhere because I don't want to be one-sided of one way of thinking. So I do look at news from all different angles and all different sites. So the thing is, I think it's really, really important that everybody realizes that they shouldn't just take news from one place. But this was really, really interesting when I watched this last time. So I'll just play this off for you guys, and just get ready to have your minds literally blown.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Our communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Yeah, exactly. So the question arises, is the news fake? is it fake news? And if it's fake news,
Hmm.
how much faker could it get than what you just watched? Literally scripted broadcasting. I was quite blown away by that video of literally anchormen reading from a script that obviously has been written in such a way that every single anchorman and anchorwoman are reading it the same way. I found the video fascinating that they made this. The guy who made it, I think massive credit to him for even taking the time out to even fucking make it rhyme as well as he did. But the question I really want to pass off to everybody is the news fake? Can you trust what you're being fed from news networks? And not only that,
No.
how scripted is it? Could we actually get news from every source and they would be telling you the same thing, just with a different tone or a different script, slightly different, but it's the same information? I'll pass the question off to Tara K, because Tara K is an absolute news fanatic. I mean, literally, she is. You know how you saw the screen with all the TV screens on it, and like all of them were playing at this. That's her house. Okay, she has a wall that's just full of TV screen. All the different TV channels are playing the news, only the news, nothing else. She's got one screen dedicated for Fortnite, which is tiny, but the rest are like 50-inch TVs. It's insane. It's showing me a picture. It's out of this planet. Anyway, Tara K, tell us, is news fake?
I believe part of the news is fake. I mean, not all of it, but I don't like the news to begin with. So.
Okay. Why don't you like the news, Tara?
Well, because most of it's sad stuff, and I don't like sad stuff.
So, because it's sad, you don't like it?
Right. And
do you think... Yeah, go on.
Oh, and I don't really... If I want to know what's going on in the world, I mean, my mom tells me. She keeps me up to date, and then I have to search it to make sure it's real.
So you've got your own personal newscaster in your own house.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Well done, Marlene. You're doing a great job. Keeping Tara up to date with the day-to-day news. Also, obviously, I want to bring Crazy Holes into this. Crazy, how fake is the news? Is it really that fake?
Well, I
Hold on, your mic is totally messed up. You need to fix it. Yeah, we can't hear you. You're gonna have to leave and come back. Exodus D, I'll bring you in while Crazy Holes fixes her mic issues. What do you think, Exodus? The news has to be real, right? Surely.
I mean, after watching that, I don't know anymore, because all of them did like around the bases of the same. I think I seen a video like this like a year ago, where it was like one news story, and then each newscaster was pretty much saying literally the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that was a coincidence. That had to be planned somehow.
I mean, it's quite shocking to think that the news that you're fed, your parents are fed that news, your grandparents are fed that news, your school teachers are fed that news. Everyone is fed that same news. And you imagine a world where the news is so toxic, I'd say. You know, it's so volatile in the way that it's scripted, that it could make you think a certain way about certain things that you may not even have the opinion on.
Yeah, like it's insane.
I mean, obviously, Crazy Hole's had a little issue with the mic. Let's see if she can come back, give us a little opinion. So, Crazy, back to you again. What was you saying?
Can you hear me better now?
Yep, can hear you very well now.
Cool. Well, in my opinion, I mean, this is my opinion. I don't believe everything that the news says. I feel that they are just scripted to make news look like everything's going on. And I remember watching one video of them actually setting up, you know, like when they have those scenes of like the background scenes, and one guy made an investigation, and it was like two women, you know, when you have like two people talking.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be in two different scenes.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in two different scenes, and on the background there was like a red car going from the right, and then on the left you see the red car literally passing from the right to the left all the way. And it's like they're in exactly the same offices when the left side said that they were in New York and the right side said that they were in some other state. Yeah. So
I mean the thing is, you say you don't believe in all the news, right? So how can you distinguish? How are you? What antennae is going off in your mind that's saying to you, this news is real, but this news is definitely
to be honest, I don't keep up to date with news a lot. I'm not really a news kind of person. The only way I find out from news is from people. They tell me the news because I really don't get into it.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, well, let us know what you guys think. Okay, if you guys want to drop us a comment while you're watching the podcast live, please let us know down below if you think the news is fake, or is it real news. I don't, or is this just a glitch? I don't even know. I mean, you let us know. Me personally, I don't believe in the standard news networks, as I said before, because I think news, you have to get it from everywhere in order to get the right kind of news, because otherwise it's fully scripted, as we clearly see, and it's fed to you in such a way that you think it's got to be real, but is it really real? So please drop us a comment down below and let us know what you're thinking. We'll shout out your comments if they are relevant to the topic that we're talking about. And also, if you're watching the video on record and you're watching this as a playback, please be sure to drop us our comments down below. If it's of any relevance to the chat that we're talking about, we will talk about it maybe in the next podcast. So thank you very much for that, guys. We're moving on swiftly to another topic. That's right, the infamous Paul brothers are back in the fucking news. We got Jake Paul this time. Logan Paul is taking a slight break from the media attention that he's been getting. And they've swiftly moved it over to Jake Paul, who they have classed as the nicer Paul brother. Okay, so just to add to that, he's been deemed the nicer Paul brother for YouTube's Golden Boy finding program. I don't know what they call it. So, if you guys haven't heard, Jake Paul is developing a talk show with a YouTube Red. That's right. If you don't know what YouTube Red is a paid subscription service, a little bit like Netflix, where you guys you pay not to see ads on videos, and also the videos that are made on YouTube Red are paid for content. So, even if you're not a YouTube Red subscriber, you can still watch the videos. They normally come up like, say, like $2.99 or 97p or $1.99 or whatever it is. There's a monetary amount to it, but if you sign up to YouTube Red, which I think is like $10 or something a month, you get no ads, and you also get YouTube Red content, which is content which has been paid for and created by YouTube, and they're taking Jake Paul on an exclusive ride to have his own little talk show called, I don't know the name of it yet. It's not something which he has spoken about much either. But just a quick little heads up. Sources familiar with the project tell The Hollywood Reporter, although YouTube Red doesn't have traditional programming blocks, the project is expected to have a late night variety show feel to it. So it's a bit like all the late night shows that we see, like David Letterman and The Late Show and all those kind of shows. It's going to have that kind of jazz to it, but obviously Jake Paul being the host. Also, Ben Silverman and Howard T. Owens Propagate Content is producing an untitled series alongside Five All in the Fifth Entertainment, with Douglas Banker executive producing, Gavin Purcell the showrunner, on Sarah Silverman's Hulu. How do you say that? Hulu. Is it Hulu? Hawalu? Hulu? Yeah. Talk show I Love You, America has been taped to executives produce the pilot, which could be shot as early as May, according to sources. Paul will host and executive produce. This quote was, last year we engaged in early development deals with a handful of YouTube creators as part of our normal process to evaluate new creators' ideas. A YouTube spokeswoman said Thursday is in a statement confirming the project. There is no series order currently in place. So this is all speculation still. This is all chit chat, but there is a high possibility that Jake Paul will get his YouTube Red series, possibly, which has got some serious people backing it, and I'm not even joking about that. The question really I want to pass off to you guys is, what is your takeaway on this? What do you personally believe about Jake Paul? Do you think he is the better Paul brother? And also, does he deserve a YouTube Red service? Considering all the mayhem that he did cause, if we don't forget, at that stupid house that he owned, and the fact that he had all those stupid children coming to his goddamn house and his neighborhood and causing a riot. What do you guys think? Let me know in this comment down below if you're watching us live, and if you're watching us on record, please drop it in the comment. I love to read them afterwards. We'll come over to Crazy Holes first. Crazy, what do you think? Is Jake Paul the good Paul brother? And have we forgotten the past?
I mean, it's 50-50. I mean, to be honest, in a way, it's...
She fancies him.
Oh,
yeah, go on, what you say?
I do believe that he is kind of the... I don't know. He is much more...
Just to remind you, okay, this is the same brother, okay? They're the same Paul brother who lit a swimming pool on fire in his backyard on a house he was renting. Yeah, carry on. What was you saying?
The thing is, I'd say Logan Paul is the more mature one, but Jake Paul has made himself get more further. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those ones where...
I mean, do you think he deserves a YouTube Red series?
No, not really, because of what he's done, and because of his past. But he has basically left.
I mean, doesn't people who've done bad things in the past get a second chance to make changes?
A lot of people probably would say he's had probably too many chances.
Okay, and that's fair enough. Exodus D, Jake Paul, your best friend, talk to me.
Oh God, yeah, my homie. I visit him every day. I mean,
is he the nicer? Exodus, is he the nicer Paul brother? Out of the two Paul brothers, is he the nicer one? And do you think he deserves to have a YouTube Red series?
I wouldn't say nice, but he is the more, I guess, depending on the situation, he could be the calmer Paul brother. He wouldn't do stuff as crazy as Logan would, but on the grounds of YouTube Red, considering his brother messed up once and got all this YouTube shit or all his YouTube Red stuff canceled or taken out of, and he's messed up more than him, and he just gets no consequences. His brother just got all this shit happened to him, and so I don't think it's fair for him to get in, his brother to still be off of it.
I mean, the thing is, Jake Paul getting a YouTube Red series it's not a bad thing. I mean, the thing is, do you think he doesn't deserve to get that kind of recognition?
It's not that. Well, no, I think he deserves it. It's just more the fact that if he should be allowed on YouTube Red, I think his brother should be back allowed. Like it's more of like.
So you
It's
think
more
it
of
like
like being fair.
Right? Okay, and I guess it kind of brings it back to the same point of everyone should be given a second chance.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying? You know, like if it's one way for one person and they've done a hell of a lot of shit that was not really. I mean, the thing is, all that controversy with Jake Paul and with Logan Paul is all to bring about, because there's no such thing as bad news for these guys. You know, it may be seen that way, but for them, it's bringing attention to them, and that's the whole point. Is that people talk about it, people are vocalizing about it, like we're doing right now. So it brings attention to their platform and to their fans, and more people get to hear about them.
Yeah.
Okay, Tara K, your friend Jake Paul. I know Tara K's got that massive A1 size poster on her wall. I've heard about it. Sean's told me all about it. What do you think? Does he deserve a YouTube Red series? And if you have a good look at Jake, he looks like the nicer brother, doesn't he?
Well, I'm not really one to say who deserves what and who doesn't. I don't think anybody really can say who deserves to get their own whatever. But their own YouTube Red channel. But yeah, I have no clue who they are, either one still. But I've heard less about him than the other brother, so I guess I would say he's the better one, since I haven't heard much about him as I heard about the other one.
Okay. Well, he didn't do. I mean, he did bad things, but they weren't as bad as Logan. Definitely not. Logan pushed that. He pushed that bar just slightly higher than his brother. I mean, the thing is we got to go back to the same. I mean, the thing is, it's the same thing even with me. If you guys found out something about me, like I was a serial killer once upon a time, you know, went to prison and got released, and now I'm a YouTuber and I've got all these fans. You surely I'll be like, please, just give me a chance. Let me prove that I'm a changed man. Surely I would be allowed to have that. Surely, right?
But I agree. Everybody deserves a second chance, depending on what the problem was to begin with. I don't know about serial killers.
I take it serial killers not in there, right? Okay.
No.
Okay, right. No serial killers. Okay, forgiveness doesn't lie there. Okay. I mean, I don't want to squindle too long on this particular topic. Has any of you guys got anything you want to add, Exodus or Crazy?
I was gonna say, can you imagine how interesting a Charles Manson YouTube channel would be, though? Like, on the real, because of all the crazy shit he's done, and, like, all the crazy interviews he's had, I think he would have a fucking hell interesting YouTube channel.
Yeah. What about you, Crazy? Anything you want to add to the current conversation before we move along?
No, I don't really anything else.
Right, so don't forget, guys, if you guys want to drop your comments down below on the live chat, please be sure to do so. We will talk about whatever your opinion is, if it's relevant to the topic of conversation. But I'm going to move swiftly on to the next topic, which is obviously to do with this crazy mom. Now, if you guys didn't know, there is some crazy people in the world. I'm sure I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. There are some really insane motherfuckers in the goddamn world. And one of them happens to be a mother. That's right. We're not talking about Tara's mom. We're talking about other moms, okay? And the mom we're talking about in particular is this crazy psycho bitch who decided to do this crazy thing with her little baby. If you guys didn't hear about it, plug your earphones in, because this is going to get really, really interesting.
Viral thanks to concerned citizens who alerted Raleigh police on Facebook. A 1-year-old smoking, and tonight we've learned that toddler was smoking marijuana. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Catherine Brown.
And I'm Gerald Owens. The baby is now in the custody of Child Protective Services. The mother facing a number of charges. WRL's Adam Owens is live at the Wake County Detention Center with more on those charges. Adam?
Gerald, Catherine, in this case, it appears the crime may have been caught on camera, and that upset a whole lot of people online who decided to reach out to authorities.
At first you hear the child coo, then an adult moves what looks like a cigarette near the child's mouth. A small cloud of smoke wraps around the child's head. This short video, posted on social media, sent many people on the internet into an uproar. A police investigation led to the arrest of the child's mother, 20-year-old Brianna Lofton of Raleigh. According to warrants, it was marijuana she was giving her 1-year-old child. WRAL News was there as Lofton stood before a magistrate with tears in her eyes. According to warrants, the incident happened around December and January. In their own Facebook post, Raleigh police credited the public with bringing the video to their attention. It reads, "Thanks to your willingness to get involved, the child is now safe and the mother is in police custody." Lofton is charged with 2 counts each of felony child abuse, contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile, and possession of marijuana.
We went to Lofton's address earlier.
So that's all I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna play any more of it because we don't need to give this any more credit than what it already has. But as you can hear clearly, you clearly heard. That's right. You didn't mishear anything. Okay, what you heard is exactly what happened. A young baby mama gave her little baby goddamn weed. Okay, literally, you saw the kid just smoking a blunt. Okay, I mean, holy shit, what the fuck is the world coming to? This is our stupid of the day, definitely. Obviously, my opinion is this fucking woman's psycho and literally should be put away for doing something so dumb. I mean, what the fuck are you thinking? Giving a 1-year-old a blunt to smoke is it's beyond my understanding. I didn't even know this kind of stupidity even exists, but obviously anything can happen in this world nowadays. But I'll bring the guests on this because my opinion is pretty simple, but I guess I'll start with Exodus D. Exodus, you got a little baby sister. What do you think if you saw your mom giving her a blunt to smoke and she's fucking 5? What do you think?
On a reel, can I go on a little tangent real quick? Is that allowed?
What do you think, Exodus? I mean, the thing is, this is a little bit insane, right? I mean, what the hell could someone be thinking to do something so stupid, right? Am I thinking wrong here?
No, like, honestly, like, this mom is so fucking stupid. Like, you shouldn't even smoke in a room with a baby. Like, we'll let it smoke with you. Like, that's just fucking parenting that's like one of the first things you learn when you have a baby. Don't drink with it, or don't drink while it's in your belly, and don't smoke with it around you at all. Like,
I mean, the thing I found really interesting with this video was that the you could clearly see that the mum has been giving the baby this shit for a while, because the baby doesn't cough on the weed or anything. It literally like takes a puff and blows it out, and you clearly see that in the footage. So this is, it's a bit like when we talk about YouTubers using the N-word when they shouldn't be using that kind of derogatory language. So obviously, we would say, like, how often have they done that in order to be saying it so openly and so easily, and the word just rolls off their tongue. No. But you can say the same thing in this instance. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, to be honest, growing up, my dad smoked weed, and he would make sure me and my older sister, who's now almost 21, he would make sure we were inside with all the doors and windows closed, and he would smoke outside. He would make sure we were nowhere near it.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, the thing is, I'm not condemning those people who, who smoke weed or anything like that. What I'm saying is that there has to be a line. There has to be a line that has to be drawn in the sand, okay? And the thing is that there must be at some point, you'd expect an adult to take responsibility, reasonable responsibility when caring for a baby. And I can't stress enough that this kind of behavior is what is wrong with the world today. Is this kind of like unwillingness to take responsibility for what is supposed to be morally right and morally wrong.
Yeah.
So I mean, the thing is,
that's in a way, right?
the baby got taken away, and the mum's facing jail
Thank
time.
God.
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, the
Oh
thing
my
is, no one
God,
likes to
thank
see kids
God.
getting taken away from their parents, but Jesus Christ, I mean,
I've been taken away before. It sucks.
yeah. But the thing is, when things are bad, things are bad. You know, you gotta understand. Sometimes the situation would be more critical, would be more of a problem if they kept the kid there. You know, and obviously the mum's facing. She's facing jail time anyway, so it's not like she's gonna be able to look after the kid anyway.
That's child engagement and child abuse. Hell yeah.
It's terrible.
5 seconds.
Anyway, I want to bring Miss Crazy Holes into this because Crazy is a heavy blunt smoker and a half.
Oh,
Crazy. Tell me about your obsession with babies and smoking weed.
Anyway, to be honest, like, I severely disagree with it. At the end of the day.
Oh, your mic's messing up again.
Is it coming better again?
It keeps bleeping. I don't know what it's doing that for. It's like as if it's banging against something.
I don't know. Is it better now?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I severely.
What's up, Lara?
Disagree with like the whole situation. You know. You know the poor kid. You know, I feel sorry for the kid. You know, when anything happens to kids, I'm always like have a heart to it because you know they're kids, and the thing is as well, like weed is a drug. You know, it's you know, it can be used for medical purposes, and I think I do remember one story where an Indian couple last year in 2017 they got charged for giving their daughter weed because she had a medical problem and the only thing that could help her was weed. But I think the daughter was about 5 or 6. So
I mean, we're talking about a 1-year-old here. You know, a 1-year-old being given weed openly by their parent. You know, I mean, and you can clearly see from the video footage that I played for you guys that the kid knew how to smoke that blunt. You know, it wasn't it wasn't like coughing or anything like that, like you would do if you had never, you know. So obviously, it's something that's happened regularly for it to be adapted to doing that. And I
also
think, go on.
And also as well, like you got to think of that baby's heart, like you know, like that baby's heart is probably been affected.
Definitely. I mean, they talk about women when they're pregnant and if they are addicted to crack cocaine, and then the baby comes out being addicted to crack without even ever taking it. I think, you know, in this respect, it's a little bit more extreme than that. It's like the baby's out and you're giving it the blunt while it's fucking alive. It's really bizarre. I don't understand it, to be honest. I don't know if she thought it was funny, but I don't see the funny side of it one little bit. Tara K, what do you think? Parents losing their mind or what?
Oh, definitely losing their mind. Yeah. It's ridiculous. She's where she belongs right now, in jail.
I mean, the thing is, what do you think about the whole idea of? I mean, do you see what I'm talking about when I say like the baby looked like it knew what it was doing?
Yeah, it looks like she's done it more than once.
The thing I really want to ask you guys is, what do you think the kind of punishment should be for this kind of thing being found out? I guess I'll start with Crazy Holes on this one. What do you think kind of punishment she should get?
They did somebody who does that. I think she did get something like child abuse or something, and you can get up to like 30 years in prison, isn't it? I can't exactly remember. with the whole situation. But to be honest, I know that she has $100,000 bond. So probably somewhere between 5 to 8 years, if not even more.
5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Exodus? What do you think the kind of level of punishment should be for this kind of crime? Oh, Exodus. Okay, we'll jump to Tara. Okay, while Exodus is slightly inconvenienced. Tara, what do you think should be the level of punishment for this kind of crime?
Well, I don't think she should get her child back.
Okay.
And I agree with Crazy where she should get a certain amount of time in jail or prison or whatever.
I mean, don't you think like some sort of I mean, you know, we don't know what the underlying causes are. I mean, is there no option for rehabilitation, or do you think no, that's it? You've done something way too extreme to even be allowed to have a child near you.
I don't know. When it comes to children, if it's something like that, I don't think they should deserve to get their children back because who's to say they're not going to do it again even after they go to rehab and stuff? And it just might not be caught on video this time.
Exodus, you with us? Is he with us, or are we moving on? If you guys are watching the podcast live, please be sure to drop your comments down below. What do you think about this crazy woman who gave a kid goddamn weed? Psycho. Let us know what you think. 2 questions really for you guys to answer. 1, how bad is the crime? Is it really, really bad? And 2, what kind of punishment should be given for this kind of crime that's been committed against a juvenile? It's literally like an absolute. I don't. It's like it's not even a minor. It's less than a minor. It's like a baby. Let us know in this comment down below, and if you're watching us live, drop it, and we'll try and talk about it while you're here. Moving on swiftly, we will begin with the Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's passing laws to raise funds for education as teachers take march inside. So taxes on casinos and Amazon sellers expected to rise $92 million. Teachers walk around a gym as lightning forces suspension of March. So there's a quick little poster here on this little post about the March for Education in Oklahoma that happened on the, what was the date of this? I can't remember off the top of my head. When the fuck was this? I don't remember the date, but it was last week sometime. And basically, this mom and daughter, they basically said a veteran teacher of 33 years is okay because she believes in her students, and my daughter, a college graduate who could make more than me in TX as in Texas as a first year teacher. So basically what this is all about is whether there is sufficient funding for school education in Oklahoma and in the United States all around, to be honest with you. They were on strike, and they were part of 125 strong attempt to march from Tulsa to the state capitol to demand improved state funding. They were hoping to make up miles missed after lightning forced them to cancel Friday's marching 3 miles outside Bristow. One of the quotes was, I want to make sure that I can log in all my miles and say that when I get to Oklahoma City, I walked the full 110, said one marcher, Larry Schultz, as the Proclaimers song, I'm gonna be 500 miles, blared over the school loudspeakers. The march may have been be calmed but at the state capitol, 2 measures passed that are expected to increase taxes and fund much needed classroom supplies. One is meant to tax third-party vendors in the state who sell over Amazon. The other, known as the ball and dice tax, will expand taxes on tribunal casinos. The measures are expected to raise $92 million. Basically, what's happening is with the whole issue around taxation and with teachers getting enough funds, basically what's happening is a lot of teachers are using their salaries, are using their actual own money to buy classroom supplies for state-funded schools. We're not talking about schools that are privately funded. We're talking about state-funded schools. So there's a massive issue. For example, there's less than a week ago, success seemed unlikely, having granted the teachers a $6,000 raise. So basically, they were paying teachers additional money to be able to buy these supplies in. But it wasn't like they're paying each teacher $6,000. They were just giving the school a $6,000 grant to kind of buy supplies in. But you imagine if you got 100 students in one school or more than that, it's not even going to cover it. It's not even going to come close. Most schools have got, over 300 students in the school. And that's just not going to work. And a lot of teachers were complaining that the government isn't doing enough. The state isn't doing enough to kind of make sure that teachers have got the right kind of equipment to be able to give to their students so that their students can actually learn something at school and they can actually have, apparatus and things like that to be able to use with their students. Instead, what teachers are having to do is buy out of their own pocket to give to their students, and then that puts the teachers out as well, because they're not only teaching, they're having to buy supplies to be able to supply the kids with the shit. I mean, this is insane. I mean, who would have ever heard of this in a fully developed country like the United States of America? But obviously, I want to pass the questions off to you guys. Obviously, the guests are first in command. Crazy Hoes, what do you think about this goddamn march for education? I mean, do you think the education system in America, I know you've not been there for very long, but for the time you've been there, do you think there is a little bit of problem over there with state-funded schools?
I'd say kind of, yes. I mean, it goes back to when, obviously, I used to live in the UK, the schools. I'm sure you know as well yourself, the schools are kind of not that great either. So, but the thing is, schools are supposed to be supplied. Classrooms are supposed to have supplies. If a classroom don't have supplies, there's no education.
Yeah.
So the thing is I feel that the march was needed. Yeah, teachers need to stand up for what they feel is right, and of course they're not going to want to use their pocket to supply something that their bosses and their CEOs of the school should really be funding.
I mean, do you think that the march, because this particular march didn't get that much coverage because it ran alongside the March for Our Lives campaign, which kind of superseded this slightly and took a lot of the limelight away from this campaign. And I'm just wondering whether, because obviously March for Our Lives was government funded to run, and it ran at the same time as this particular march, and a lot of the teachers were saying that march took a lot away from people that sort of coverage that we would have got, because they feel like students being underfunded in school supplies is a much bigger problem than gun reform in the United States. I mean, do you think that there was some sort of some underhand, undercard, some sort of mishap, that some sort of conspiracy that happened with the whole planning of campaigns?
Yeah,
it's quite ironic that one was called March for Our Lives, the other one was called March for Education. It's quite bizarre how they both have very similar names as well.
Yeah, I do believe that it is kind of a conspiracy thing.
Exodus D, are you back? Are you back, Exodus?
I'm here. Yes, I'm always back.
He's back. Okay, he's
I just
back.
need my
Right,
mic
Exodus.
to It's democracy.
That's
no.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this March for Education, do you think that you being someone who's been through the educational system in America, do you feel that schools are bloody hell? They're going insane. That schools are underfunded.
What was the question? I can't hear what you're saying, kids in here. What is the question?
Exodus got a full house.
The fucking kids, man. I can't hear.
Okay.
Okay, just come back to me. Just come back to me.
Okay, I'll come back. He's got children to sort out, everybody. He needs to get himself a studio. Right, okay, so Tara K. Okay. Tara K.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think I mean, you've been through the schooling system in America. You know what it's all about. You've been there firsthand. Do you think there is a problem with state-funded schools? Do you feel like they are kind of left behind and they're not looked after well enough by each and every state in the United States?
Yeah, I have a couple friends that are teachers, and like you said, they have to buy out of pocket for their supplies. And when they do the supply list for kids, when I was younger, we never had to help out and buy the supplies for the school, but now you have to bring your own Kleenexes and bring extra, bring your own glue and rulers, whatever, and make sure you have extra so in case a child can't afford it, they can use what the extra is. So I believe that there should be more funding for schools.
And the other thing as well is, I mean, you know about, we spoke about this on last week's podcast, the March for Our Lives campaign, which was obviously to do with gun reform in the United States. Do you think there's some sort of conspiracy that they ran that campaign alongside the March for Education campaign, which literally ran at the same exact time as each other? Do you think there was some sort of... Do you think that this being a more important... I mean, me personally, I think it's a more important thing that needs to be discussed because that's to do with kids' education and their future versus gun reform, which is affecting certain people, but in some states it's a day-to-day occurrence, which no one even blinks an eye about in those other states. Do you think that they've run this on purpose to take the limelight away from something which could fundamentally be quite damning to the politicians who are in power at the moment?
Yeah, I feel like it is almost, my opinion on that whole gun march anyway. But
yeah,
I think that the March for Schools was more important, in my opinion, because it is for children's futures and everything.
Exodus, are you ready? Can we bring you on?
I don't even know anymore. I don't even know these fucking kids. Alright, let's try it. See how I'm just gonna go for.
Right, what do you think about education? Is there a problem with the state-funded schools in America?
In California, kind of. Everywhere else, I'm not sure. Like certain places, like a couple of the schools I went to, the teachers didn't seem like they really cared enough to teach. They pretty much just sat around all day.
Right. And did you ever find supplies were quite? Did you ever find supplies while you was in schools, like having supplies of materials and things that you needed to actually do education with? Did you find your parents had to supply you with that stuff, or was it available at school?
For the most part, yeah, we would have to buy it. We would buy it and then bring it to school.
God, what are those girls doing? Quiet, girls!
No,
Quiet!
It's not the girls. It's my cousin Mason. He's throwing fucking oranges all over my room.
Oh my God. Cousin! Shush! We're in the middle of a goddamn podcast. Right, okay. Right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Before we move on, I just want to pass the question off to you guys. Do you feel, if you live in America, let me know if you guys feel there is a problem with the educational system, especially the state-funded schools, whether you think teachers are getting enough money, if you've been in school and you remember your school days. Did you parents have to buy your school supplies, or was it provided to you by your school? As from what we can see from a lot of the people, the guests on the podcast today, they had to buy it themselves. It wasn't being provided. So the thing is there an actual problem? I mean, is £92 million going to cover it? And will this bill ever fucking get exercised, or will it never happen? And also, I mean, do you think it's fair that your teachers have to buy your goddamn supplies in order for you to have something to do at school? Like if you need certain materials or certain things, or to be able to do your education, to learn about various things and topics, let us know in those comments down below. Moving on swiftly, people. We're coming close to the end. We got 3 more topics, and this is a motherfucking this is a big one, okay? This is the topic that I've been waiting to talk about for ages, and that is the infamous Conor McGregor. That's right, Conor McGregor, everyone, has gone from... It seems to be like a recurring story that we hear from time to time. The only fighter that I know, the only sort of fighting athlete that I know of that hasn't had any major controversies in their life is Money Mayweather. But Conor McGregor seems to be following in the footsteps of the great fighters from before, in the sense that they cause excessive amount of controversy, especially when they decide to go on a little rampage of their own, a little bit like Trevor does in GTA5, and attack a bus filled with UFC fighters. That's right. I'm telling you what's really happening, okay? I'm going to play this little short clip for you guys. Please turn up your mic so you guys can hear what's going on. But basically, this kicks off with Conor McGregor, the mixed martial arts fighter known for his antics. And yeah, he's in handcuffs right now, guys. He was charged. Arriving at an upcoming event in Brooklyn, New York. A bit obtained by TMZ appears to show McGregor causing chaos in the loading dock at the Barclays Center. The footage shows McGregor with a group of people tossing trash cans. You'll see it momentarily. You should play it. And being prevented from throwing a barricade at a bus full of UFC fighters. This is fucking interesting. The UFC said in a statement that McGregor and Artem Lobov, these two fuckers here, entered the area with more than a dozen individuals and vandalized the bus. Lobova has been removed from his weekend's card. Individuals involved in the incident are not welcome to tomorrow's ceremony. Weigh-in all Saturday's event at Barclays Center. The NYPD said McGregor threw a hand truck at a bus, causing a minor injury to an individual on the bus. Woohoo! No UFC fighters, calm down. At least 2 fights at the UFC 2023 card. Khabib and Holloway. Apparently he's got a massive problem with Khabib. Have been scrapped because of the incident. The organization deems today's disruption completely unacceptable and is currently working on the consequences that will follow. UFC statement. Michael Chiesa, a fighter, was reportedly hospitalized. I don't know how. With injuries caused by the broken window. So this was quite interesting. McGregor allegedly took issues with UFC President Dana White because they tried to take his second belt off him when they know they literally said take it. Saying that an upcoming bout between Max Holloway and Khabib, whatever the fuck his surname is, will decide the new UFC lightweight championship with no qualifier in front of the white. McGregor won the title in 2016 but stepped away from the UFC last year. So basically he owns both titles, but they're kind of like ducking and diving around it. In order to train for his highly publicized boxing match with Floyd Mayweather. It seems that McGregor was not pleased with the idea of being stripped of his title. White told TMZ that this is bigger than his US firm firing him in reference to McGregor. hinting that the star may be in greater legal trouble for the scuffle. Wait and see. I imagine he's going to be sued beyond belief, and this is a real bad career move for him. Dana White, UFC president. We'll have to see what goes on. And that was the story with Mr. Conor McGregor. That's right, Conor. Why follow in the footsteps of those who came before you? I don't know. But basically, Conor McGregor has got this massive issue with this guy, Khabib, who basically did something really out of ordinary, and you'll see in a minute what caused Conor's outrage as soon as this fucking thing decides to expand. Come on. Why? Okay, this one it won't go big. I don't know why. What the hell is going on here? Hello. Okay, so this is not even working. I don't know what's wrong with it. Hopefully you guys can hear the volume on this, because I can't see it. It's not bouncing over here. It's still got itself as muted. I don't know why. Oh. Right, okay. Okay, I just have to rewind this again. So there was,
okay, let's see.
So there was a video. This was the video.
They're fighting.
Sorry, this isn't big enough.
Artem and Khabib. Russian shit going down. Khabib's gonna make it happen right here. He ain't playing. Oh yeah. Oh, they're gonna shake it out right here.
Ты понял или нет? Я тебя спрошу. Лицо скажи. Ты говоришь, что как не говорю? Как не говорю, ты поэтому больше не говори такие вещи. Или нет, я тебя спрошу.
Watch this.
Ты говорю, что я говорил? Как не говорю? Как не говорю, ты поэтому говорю. Больше не говори такие вещи.
Gave him a slap.
Stop! I say stop! No, boys, let him go. Yes. Don't no more talk, go!
He gave him a slap.
Thank you so much.
So it gave him a slap, and he wasn't happy about it. So basically, what happened between McGregor is that he didn't like the way that Khabib actually reacted to Holloway, Max Holloway, in that little confrontation that they had, because he grabbed him around the back of the head, if you see him, and the camera just turns away slightly as he slaps him around the face to kind of, it's like a bitch move, really. And he says, "I'm laughing inside," says Khabib, told the MMA site. You broke window. Why? Come inside. You know UFC don't like you. Come inside. If you real gangster, why don't you come inside? This is big history gangster place, Brooklyn. You want to talk to me? Send me location. We have to talk. I'm gonna come. No problem. Sounds like something from fucking GTA5, right? But this actually really went down. This is the insane bit. It actually did happen. And what was shocking is Conor McGregor's issue was with two things. One was with this guy, and 2 was with the UFC trying to take away his title. So it was like a bit like what happened with YouTube and that girl. It's fueling the fire, okay, just pushing the guy over the edge. But what McGregor's doing, which is very sad to see, which is what's happened to a lot of fighters over the years, is they don't know how to control their anger, and they let it spill out into all types of stuff. So the thing is, I think he's gonna face some pretty bad shit soon because of what he did. Because he's not above the law. You know, there's a limit to what you can do. And if you actually saw what how he smashed up the bus, he had shit in his hand. There was so many people there. I don't know where the footage has gone because I couldn't find it. I don't know if it's been taken down, but it was some serious stuff, because literally I couldn't believe that Conor McGregor was there. But he actually literally picks up a railing bar and throws it directly at the bus, smashes like near enough the whole thing. They throw bottles at it and everything, and it's because of those 2 reasons. The real reason we're talking about this is because this seems to happen to a lot of big professional fighters. You know, we've seen it happen with Mike Tyson. We've seen it happen with big sports stars, like even with Tiger Woods. We've seen it happen where they get to a status in their career where they kind of like think they're invincible. They become like godly, as it were, you know, and they don't think. And we've seen it happen to content creators. We've seen it happen to YouTubers. You know, we've seen it happen to Pewdiepie. We've seen it happen to Logan Paul. We've seen it happen to Jake Paul. We've seen it happen to Ninja, who's obviously the new biggest streamer on Twitch.tv. We've seen it happen to a lot of different people, you know, who seem to get themselves into this status in their career, whether it be fighting, whether it be whatever it is, where they feel that they are bigger than life itself. And then they go out and do stupid things like this. And the thing is, what I really want to pass off and what I really want to get from my guest today is an opinion of where do you guys stand with this kind of... I mean, if you're a Conor McGregor fan, does it change your opinion on Conor? And if it does change your opinion on Conor, what do you think his punishment's going to be for what he's done? Because it was very, very violent what he did. And I think, you know, there's one thing fighting in an octagon, and there's another thing fighting on the street. And I think things can spill out in a completely different way. So I want to see if Exodus D is free to talk. Are you free to talk, Exodus?
Yes, the kids finally
calm
left
down
the
those
room.
little brats.
They finally left the room. I'm
He's
good.
saying stuff, but I can't hear him. Why can't I hear you?
God damn it! Why not? Hold on, I'll be.
But everyone else can hear you, I think. But I couldn't hear you.
Word.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Right. So Exodus, I mean, I know you was a bit of a Conor McGregor fan before, and maybe you still are now. But let me know, what do you think about this incident about Conor McGregor? Did you hear about it beforehand? And what's your personal takeaway from it?
I actually heard of it like it was either the same day or the day after it happened, and I was like, damn, did he actually? And I saw the video, and I was like, holy shit! And then but I think like what he did was kind of like overboard. Like he could have just yelled at him, but he took it like one step further and was like, I'm trying to throw a fucking chair at you and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'll see if I can find that. Yeah, go
I
on, carry
feel
on.
like one of like another thing I saw on Twitter too was like wrestlers hit each other with the chair and nothing happens to them, but Conor McGregor throws a chair at somebody and he gets sent to jail. #free Conor McGregor. And I kind of laughed at that because it was like a fresh meme. I'm like, damn. But yeah, when my first reaction was that was way overboard. That was way more than he needed to do.
Hey, open the fucking door. Hey, you fucking... Oh, shit. Let's get into this.
Yeah, no, I believe, obviously, like you said, that many fighters and many boxers, their anger gets to them very quickly. They can go from 0 to 100 in the flick of a switch. And the thing is, I mm, the thing is as well, I feel like fame gets too much to their head. You know, I feel sometimes that the fame takes over what actually is reality. Yeah, because they just think, oh, look at me, I am this, I am that, me. No, but I also agree with what you said as well. Like, like there were other people around, and it was in public eye. And the thing is, it doesn't take for one person or many people to back up McGregor and get involved. Yeah, doesn't seem like it. In hmm, no, but but no, in my opinion, rather than running around and trying to find him and trying to beat the crap out of him and trying to throw chairs at glass and it shattering, rather than doing that, he should have just got on the bus and said, "Hey, listen, that wasn't cool, man. Like, listen, that's not cool. Like, you shouldn't do stuff like that. That's way below the line." Rather than making everybody else's life in danger because there's glass flying everywhere.
Yes, we go to dinner every other Tuesday. um, excuse me. I think that a lot of these, like, it's not even just fighters; it's like celebrities alone. They let the celebrity aspect of their life control most of the rest of it. They feel like they can get away with anything, so they push the limits. Right. They let other people get in their heads. Right. I think for him acting the way he has, like, I don't know, I don't think there was any point of what he did. So I'm thinking, like, I don't know how I'm trying to word it. Like, I think maybe it might be because, yeah, it's like a pattern. Right.
Hey, open the fucking door. Hey, you fucking. Oh shit. Let's get into it. You alright, Mike? Mike, you okay? Get unreal, man. Yo, we gotta get a medic. Get a medic. Hey, this fucking what? Who are these guys? What the fuck is wrong with him? He's got a fucking crash. That's why. Oh yeah, fucking. Dude, we're gonna fucking kill this guy. Great, come to the bank. You don't need to be in that. Dude, what the fuck? Are you serious, man? What's it? We're gonna kill these guys 100%. We're gonna kill this motherfucker.
My cut bad. I don't want to touch.
Conor McGregor grabbed a steel dolly and smashed in a bus window at Barclays Center in Brooklyn on Thursday afternoon, injuring UFC fighter Michael Chiesa, and now all hell is breaking loose. Babcock, what happened here?
Absolutely. UFC fighters were at Barclays Center. They were doing media ahead of the fight, which is Saturday night. The fighters were on a bus. They were leaving. Ended up, Evan, with Conor McGregor running next to a bus that Michael Chiesa, Khabib, and a bunch of other fighters were on, grabbing a steel dolly and throwing it through a window. And people were injured. Michael Chiesa's face was all bloodied. Unclear if he's actually going to be able to fight tomorrow.
He was hospitalized. We know that. He suffered cuts to his face. Dana White told me that he was all cut.
No.
Nope. Nope. I'm good.
No. No. T4. They can't hear you.
Oh my god, please tell me you could hear me all the other times.
Yeah, I just now I couldn't.
Did it happen before? Please tell me it didn't happen before.
No, just now.
Okay, fine. PewDiePie comes up next. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. I hope you heard all the thing with Conor McGregor, because otherwise, oh my god. But we moved on to PewDiePie. PewDiePie basically had this article written by The Guardian about him, where it doesn't seem to he can't catch a break. No matter what he does, no matter what he says, it seems to always be wrong. So PewDiePie is like the title of this article is "What's up, PewDiePie? The troubling content of YouTube's biggest star, childish, offensive, and immensely popular. The YouTube star, whose real name is Felix Kjellberg, continues to command a huge audience. But what is he really saying?" And it goes on to say PewDiePie has started a book club. Once a month, the YouTuber sits down in his box room studio, bathed in soft pink light, and critiques a set of texts for his audience. The choice so far has tended towards sci-fi, I Am Legend, Brave New World, but also includes The Picture of Dorian Gray and American Psycho. For me to discover how much joy you can get through reading, the 20-year-old Swedish said, "It's been so much fun. This month, he wants his viewers to join him in plowing through Moby Dick next." So the thing is, what is interesting is that PewDiePie, he does one thing, they say it's wrong. He does something else, they still say it's wrong. It's like he can never do anything right. He's trying to do something a little bit different, a little bit dashy, a little bit strange, something that's not really part of his normality. But the thing is, I think he deserves a lot of praise for trying to turn things around and do something a little bit different, because I think a lot of the time, especially nowadays, with the amount of video that people watch and the amount of technology that we use, we don't really read that many books, to be completely honest. I know I don't. So the thing is, him trying to do something like this kind of engages with his audience, trying to get them to do something a little bit different by picking up an actual book and reading it, and stating their opinion on what they thought of the actual book that they read. And I think even for him, he makes a video every single day, and even to do that ratio, to find time then to, to read a book is something. So, and the books that he's reading aren't exactly the smallest books in the world, but he's managing to read them for a whole month, and he's trying to do Moby Dick for the whole month, which is that's a pretty big book if you haven't read it. So the thing is, the whole purpose of me talking about this article is why are these news outlets? Why has the Guardian even picked up on this story? What relevance does this have? I mean, they're trying to paint the picture of PewDiePie in this article as if he's still a bad guy, but he's just trying to make a change. And I think this is what we were talking about before, is everyone surely does deserve that chance to do something different. And throughout his YouTube career, to the size that he's got to now, which I think is not far off the 60-70 million mark, he has done things that no one else has been able to do so far. To the degree that I think throughout his growth, he hasn't done anything offensive. He hasn't done anything which has been out of the ordinary. He's only played video games where he was scared out of his fucking wits and played them anyway. But he didn't do anything else. He hasn't done dead bodies or anything. He said a few bad words and things like that, but and done a few Nazi jokes, which was fucking super satire you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's not. It wasn't like the videos were actually bad. It's just the way that they were reported, the picture that was painted. It made him look like a bad guy. It wasn't like what Logan Paul did, where he went into a fucking suicide forest and showing you a dead body behind him. I mean, that is different. It's a different thing altogether. So the question I really have to pass up to you guys, it's not a very long topic for this one for PewDiePie, is why make this kind of article? Are they still trying to somehow, is the news outlets losing traction on their audience? Is their audience leaving their domain and coming to YouTube's platform to get their daily news, to get into things like what we do here, which is obviously the podcast, which gives an open discussion to people to be able to join and talk about? Is that what's pushing these news agents, these news outlets, to continuously attack big channels on YouTube, to create more of this like issue with the platform's content creators, to kind of then force advertisers to take a different look, which then will cause YouTube to make even more changes and then make things even more difficult because they are losing all of their viewers or their readers or whatever it is. Question gets passed off to Mr. Exodus D to begin with, because I can hear him echoing in my background. So, Mr. Exodus, what is your take on this little Guardian article that we've got?
Can I just bring up that your screen right now says stream starting soon?
What?
I'm not sure if you press the wrong button or anything, but your screen before the stream, it says stream starting soon is up right now.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Unless it's just that way for me.
No, it's playing.
No, it's playing.
Okay,
it's definitely playing.
Okay, I guess mine got started over.
No, it's definitely playing.
Okay, they're so they're still trying to paint him as a bad guy, which is just unreal because he's trying to do something good for the whole community and to get his fans to read very historic novels. And then everybody's just nah. Remember when he did this? This article's living in the past when he's trying to he's preparing his audience for the future, and trying to get them to do stuff that not many people really want to do, but since they see him doing it, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to do that."
Yeah.
They're still trying to paint him as a bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think he's trying to get away from that image, but it's just like he's just been dragged into it constantly. Crazy Holes,
Yeah.
what do you think about this little topic? Oh, crazy. What do you think about the Guardian's article on PewDiePie? Can they just not leave him alone because they're just trying to change? Are they trying to do something that we're not really understanding to kind of bring down the YouTube bandwagon?
Well, I just believe that they're just picking on him because he's doing something different that his viewers are not usually used to.
Yeah.
You know, that his viewers don't usually see him bring out books. So
Because I think it's just weird that whether he does something bad, whether he does something good, either way, they're just like trying to paint it as a bad thing. Because that's how the article reads. When you read the article, it reads like it's a negative thing rather than being a positive thing.
No, because books are kind of a positive thing, you know. So
Yeah, but it's weird how they write this article to make it seem like it's a bad thing, though. Don't you think?
yeah, I do believe that. You know, and the thing is, like, PewDiePie hasn't. Yeah, he's been in the limelight, but he's not really been in the limelight much. You know, he's only been in for stupid, petty things that was his own fault. But
yeah,
the thing is, you know, he's the biggest creator on the YouTube platform. So you know,
yeah.
You know, at some point, some
I mean,
things...
do you think? Do you think people like the Guardian are attacking someone like PewDiePie because he is the biggest on the platform, and advertisers will take note of these stories because the Guardian must be losing a lot of. Because you know, you put a title like PewDiePie, whatever, in your newspaper article, it's gonna get traction. Versus if you put something about a baby smoking weed.
Probably, yeah. And the thing is, as well, he's like, you know, yeah, things do change, people do change, and new things come to the limelight. So I'm sure PewDiePie just wanted the change, really. You know, he wanted something to experience, you know, something new to do.
Crazy Tara Cave. What is your takeaway from this little PewDiePie Guardian article that we're seeing?
I think that they're like just not looking on the positive side of what he does. They only like to do the negative. Like most people just like to think about negative impacts that people have done, not positive on certain things.
I mean, the thing is, it could be like me saying I'm trying to raise money for this charity, right? And then you get some people saying, "Oh, look, he's trying to raise money for this charity, but really he's going to try and pocket all the money himself." You know, it's like trying to turn something which you're trying to do a good thing, but it's like being portrayed as a bad thing. This is how I find this article is being read, and I'm just wondering, what is the kind of thought process behind even trying to write an article in that sense? What would it achieve?
Well, I think just having his name, like you said, his name in their article will bring more people to read the article because they've seen the name. So maybe that might be their reason of doing it. And negativity always brings more viewers than positive things.
Yeah, and I think you definitely touched on something there. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think I will definitely pass this question off to you guys. What do you guys think about this article on The Guardian? If you haven't read it, please read it because it's quite interesting. To like the way that it reads is very, very interesting because PewDiePie is doing something which I personally think is a really good thing, and it's read the way that this article is written. It's written like it's not a good thing, which to me is totally bizarre. But anyway, we'll pass the question off to you guys. What do you guys think? Let us know in those comments down below. And last but not least, we move across to some dangerous territory. This last article it comes from the Guardian again, but this time it's slightly different. A lot of news coverage has been taken on this, and if you guys watch the news, you would have seen this appear at some point, I'm sure. And it's about Google's AI being used by the U.S. military drone program. So the DoD, which stands for the Department of Defense, Project Maven, uses tech firms TensorFlow artificial intelligence system, prompting debate both inside and outside of the company. So if you guys didn't hear about this, basically the Department of Defense, which is the US Department of Defense, Google have developed this AI, this artificial intelligence, which can actually scan all of the drone footage that that the drone captures while it's flying through the air. And if you don't know what a drone looks like, that's what a military drone looks like that you're seeing on your screens. And basically, this drone is obviously constantly filming its surroundings and stuff like that. But for humans, for people to actually go through the footage and find targets or find things of interest to explore or that raise concerns for national security and stuff like that, it's practically impossible to do, and things are missed all the time. So what Google decided to do is the Department of Defense teamed up with Google's side and asked them to build them a system which would be able to sift through all of this video footage and actually find potential targets or potential threats or whatever it would be. And what's happened is it's raised this kind of like question of Google's status within the industry. Obviously, Google now is owned by the Alphabet company, who is a huge company. They have their fingers in so many pies. I mean, just Google Alphabet company after this podcast if you want to find out a little bit more about them. But they own a lot of companies, and one of them being Google's one of the biggest ones that they own. And basically, obviously, military contracts are worth a lot of money. So obviously we know why they did it, because they probably got a lot of money in doing the defense program, because defense stuff is budgets are always going up. Fuck the teachers and the education, let's defend the country. So defense is always on the rise, with defense budgets always going through the roof. It's raised this kind of like this kind of like theory of where does Google stand, because Google's old sort of catchphrase was do no evil, and obviously since Alphabet took over, that slogan has now gone. It doesn't actually appear on Google anymore. It's actually not there. So it kind of leaves this debate open as to whether Google are now in this realm of doing these dirty dealings behind the scenes, because no one even knew about this. This was found out in secret that this was happening, and a lot of Google employees aren't happy the fact that they were working on a defense contract and not even realizing that's what they were working on, and that the surveillance isn't just about surveillance abroad. It's about surveillance that's happening in the United States as well. So just to read a few statements from the article, Google's artificial intelligence technologies are being used by the US military for one of its drone projects, causing controversy both sides, outside and inside of the company. Google's TensorFlow AI system are being used by the US Department of Defense Project Maven, which was established in July last year to use machine learning and artificial intelligence to analyze the vast amount of footage shot by US drones. The initial intentions is to have AI analyze the video, detect objects of interest, and flag them for human analysis to review. There's a couple of statements from a couple of the people who work for DoD. So Drew Kuko, chief of DoD's algorithmic warfare cross-function team. Wow, that's a mouthful. I'd like to see his name badge. Said in July, people and computers will work symbiotically to increase the ability of weapon systems to detect objects. Eventually, we hope that one analyst will be able to do twice as much work, potentially 3 times as much as they're doing now. That's our goal. So this whole thing happened with Google and them, and it raised the Project Maven formed part of a $7.4 billion spent on the AI and data processing by the DoD, and has seen the Pentagon partner with various academics and experts in the field of AI and data processing. Also, Google spokesperson said this specific project is a pilot with the Department of Defense to provide an open source TensorFlow APIs that can assist in object recognition on unclassified data. The technology flags images for human review and is non-offensive uses only. So the question really I want to pass up to you guys is, should Google be involving itself in Department of Defense? Considering I'm using Google right now. I'm using Google Chrome to fucking show you this article on. Is Google going a little bit too fast? Is the lines between what they should do and shouldn't do becoming a bit blurred? And before we know it, we know about the Google Home Assist, which a lot of people have in their homes now, where it's obviously listening out for you to say something to it, and then it will give you a little suggestion or whatever it is. So the thing is all of this stuff kind of like a way to kind of surveillance people more? Google working on ways to improve technologies that will be able to watch everything that you're doing, basically. Is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I don't know. This is the question I want to pass up to you guys. So obviously, Crazy Holes, what's your personal takeaway from this little Google DoD deal?
Personally, they're going a little bit too far. Come on, they're working with the military that deals with high-tech stuff. I don't know what they deal with, but they deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, they could be getting more and more designs and more technical stuff to maybe watch us, to maybe see what we're doing. We're not sure, but that's what I feel, and that's what I feel that my opinion is broadcasted towards this. So,
are you worried about your personal sort of your privacy being sort of taken away from you without you realizing it's happening?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Sometimes, because you never ever know. You never know who's watching and who's sitting behind that screen or that phone or that TV screen.
Yeah.
You never know.
Exodus D, what's your takeaway from the Exodus? I'm waiting for him to unmute his mic. Yeah. What's your takeaway from this Google DoD sort of hand in hand, let's do it together kind of thing?
I think it's cool that Google's expanding more other than just the internet. They're actually building stuff. So it's kind of they're evolving more from an internet company to be just all around everything. So it's cool in that sense, but I don't really get what it's supposed to do exactly.
Are you in favor of Google working with the military?
Yeah, because they can supply the military with so much stuff because of how much money they have and how much notoriety they have. I think it's a good thing for both.
Aren't you concerned about your personal privacy if Google are getting funding $7.4 billion into their bank account to make this AI that can learn? It's machine learning. It can learn. It can sift through footage. Why wouldn't Google use that kind of technology to sift through your phone, for example, of things that you find that you may unintentionally do something on your phone, and it'd be flagged up as, oh, this is a potential issue, sends that to a human for analysis within Google's system, and then before you know it, the fucking police are outside your house.
I mean, the FBI did that to the extent like they can access your phone camera and all that, and like listen into your phone calls at any time. So if you hear anything suspicious, like they can just.
I mean, the thing is, the FBI doing that. The FBI doing that, they would have to have a cause of suspicion to do it in the first place. So someone would have had to say something for them to take note of who you were, what you were doing. But what I'm talking about is I'm pretty adamant, you and many of us other people out there, we use Google on a day-to-day basis, whether we have a Google Home, a Google Home Mini, or whether we use Google from our phone or from our computers. A lot of people use Google to do a lot of searches.
Yeah.
And you imagine all those requests that you're putting into the system, it's constantly monitoring what it is that you're requesting, and then it something that you may request, which could be very innocent, it might flag it as something which is a potential threat, and then sends that to someone to verify whether it is or it isn't. And then if they say yeah it is, you might wind up with a goddamn a SWAT van outside your house picking you up because they see you as a potential threat, even though the thing you might have looked for is completely innocent. Don't you think that's a complete invasion of your privacy?
That is that's like extreme. Like they should just
But this is what the kind of technology they're developing with this Tensor. It's called the Tensor. What the fuck? The TensorFlow AI system. That's what it does. Basically, it's able to sift through information. Where right now it's working on video footage, but it can literally, it can go through any system and find what you write into it. So whatever the operator writes into it, it can look through that just for that thing, and once it finds a match, it sends it to a human to verify it at present time. But who's to say in the future it wouldn't just make a decision by itself? And we're talking about a company like Google, who's obviously just is a company where people don't associate. I mean, if I said to you, Google is a military organization, you wouldn't actually say to me, yeah, that's what it is, would you?
No, because I've associated with just like a search engine.
Exactly. So you just so this is the thing. So now you imagine if every time you went onto your phone or onto your tablet or whatever it is, and you went straight onto Google, which a lot of people do, and then you typed into there whatever it is you're looking for, whatever you've typed in and searched for, it's watching what it is you're doing from that point forward. So if you decided to go in a certain direction on a site or whatever it is, it would be watching everything that you're doing and making a decision whether it's a threat or whether it's fine. Isn't that a bit creepy?
Oh, okay. That's very creepy. Like that's like
so this is where people have so this is where people have got the problem with Google working with the DoD, because when the defense or the military get involved in anything that's publicly owned, it no longer is it's all about national security then. So your human rights 9 times out of 10 get violated because they see they see it as a bigger picture kind of thing. Like they're looking at like the worst case scenario. So everything goes to one side and all they care about is results. So it's whether you feel that those results would be, you would think, oh yeah, giving up my freedom to have privacy. Like if you imagine you look across the street and you see this really cute girl and I don't know, she's dressed provocatively and you're staring at her, right? Now you imagine if there's a robot flying above your head watching you do that, and then it reports you to something or someone who's then going to say whether your behavior is acceptable or not. How would you feel about that?
Very violated because they're like invading my privacy.
There you go. So this is the same thing that we're talking about with this whole issue with the Google AI
Oh,
system.
okay, I see.
Anyway, so
Okay.
you know, I mean, the thing is, this is quite a big subject. This is quite a big topic to talk about because a lot of people don't really understand
Yes.
how much influence this will have on your life if Google implement this kind of system into their Google services, because you're never going to expect Google to be part of the military because, like Exodus said, it's a search engine. So, you know, when you think of searching, you just think of something that's just going to search for something for you. You might be looking for some food or some place to eat or something you want to buy, and you just use it to find it. So you never think that it would be tied in with government-funded military action, which is watching what you're actually looking for, not just the fact you're just looking for it because you feel like looking for it. It's not that free. It's not like a library. You walk in, you open a book, no one knows what you've looked at. It's a bit different. Tara K,
Yes.
where do you stand with this whole Google with the DoD?
Well, who's to say that, excuse me, that they're not doing it already and we just aren't aware of it?
This is very true. I mean, we know Google's tracking something because obviously, if you guys haven't got ad blocker, you'd see a lot of ads. They pop up every so often,
Right.
in your Google searches. At the top of the page, it comes up as ad, and it's recommended for you because of the type of searches that you've done in the past. So we know that they use some system of some sort, but when a company ties itself with military grade operations, it kind of changes their status slightly, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. I don't know. I myself it doesn't really bother me because I'm pretty much an open book, so I don't care what people see or don't see.
Yeah.
So,
but you know, innocent things can be seen as a bad thing, right?
right.
So it's like, who would be safe and who wouldn't be unsafe? Like, for example, you say you don't like to watch the news because you think news is bad news all the time. But some people might say, you know, they might see that as like, well, you're not willing to engage with actual real knowledge or whatever it may be, and condemn you for it.
Well, that's their opinion, though, so it wouldn't bother me any.
Yeah, but we're talking about military opinion. It's a little bit different,
true.
and I think this is where people forget this part is that,
Yeah.
and this is why I said it's very interesting to hear people like even the guests' opinion on this matter, and I really would love to hear your opinion as well. For those of you who are watching and those of you who watch the video after, it's military. So when the military get involved with any kind of anything public, it's no longer as it would have been before, where it would have been just like an open book, like Tara would describe it.
They could take anything and twist it around.
You see, that's the thing. It's you know, they do things a different way. Their way of thinking is different.
Right.
And I think if people don't, I mean, because people have become. You imagine, right? If Google didn't exist tomorrow, it would be very weird. Because that would be because I know a lot of people every day use Google's services, even down to if you own an Android phone, you use something called Google Play, which is the store where you get all your apps from, which means all of those apps would disappear if Google decided tomorrow that it wouldn't exist. So the thing is, I think Google has got to a certain size on every platform where people are using their services, even if they don't even realize it, they're using their services. And if they continue to mess with I mean, I'm on the defense side of they shouldn't be involving themselves, whether knowingly or unknowingly, secretly or openly, with defense contracts, because defense contracts, they develop a different type of technology, and there's nothing to stop Google from using that technology on everyday civilians, basically, to invade your privacy and to take away your privacy without you even realizing it. Because there's been so many stories in the past where people have actually reported that they've been arrested for something or have been prosecuted for something, that there was no evidence for, but the evidence was found because of various tracking things that were put in place, where things had been slightly twisted to paint a picture that they want to be seen, and then before you know it, you're in jail for God knows what reason. So I guess, I mean, on the note of that, I mean, do you guys want to add anything else to this Google DOD scenario?
No.
Nope.
No.
No. Okay. If you guys have got an opinion on the Google DOD subject, please drop it in the comment down below. We would love to read it in the live stream. If for whatever reason we haven't read it now, we'll read it in the future. Also, I'd love to read your comments if you're watching the video afterwards as well, just to get an opinion on what people are thinking and what you guys might be debating over in your mind. But that's pretty much it. That's the end of today's podcast. How long have we been doing this for? Okay, that's not too bad. 2 hours and 16 minutes. So I want to say, obviously, a massive thank you to my guests for joining me today again. They're becoming regular faces and regular voices on the podcast. We got the infamous Crazy Hold 95, Exodus D, and not forgetting Tara KD. Thank you very much to you three for joining us on this week's podcast. We'll be back next Friday on Friday. On Friday with the update podcast, so be sure to join us for that show if you're interested in being a guest. All you got to do is head over to discord.com and type in the chat at the T4 Army chat that you would like to feature as a guest, and I'll get you on the next one. If you've already been a featured guest, and we only have normally 3 guests on, so one has to go to replace another, and so on and so forth. So please bear that in mind if you don't get chosen, or if someone else gets chosen over you. And also, please make sure that you have got Discord installed on your device. Otherwise, you won't be able to be part of the actual podcast. Big shout out goes out to the people who joined us right to the end and finished with us. We had Crazy Gamer Girl 95 and Sean Mike 2 over at Twitch.tv, and not forgetting the infamous Denny's Yasizi over at YouTube.com, Zero and Salazar. Thank you. I want to say a massive thank you to the sponsors as well. Big shout out goes out to Cinch Gaming, City Keys, and the infamous Razor.com. Not forgetting the merchandise. 2 days left, guys. Don't waste any more time. And also not forgetting G4G, Streamlabs for handling those donations, and obviously G2A.com for bringing you guys those AAA titles on the cheap. That's right. But until tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow with more Fortnite gameplay for you. So be sure to join us on the live stream tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. Tara's decided to come straight back in to Twitch. I'll give her a little shout out. Well done, Tara. And
I was watching it the whole time.
Oh, your name went off the actual list. I don't know why that was. That's a bit strange. And obviously, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with more Fortnite for you guys. So be sure to join us for that. The stream will be late, so be sure to join us really late because it will be late. And that's it. Until this Friday's podcast. Take care of yourselves. As always, stay safe, stay awesome, and peace.